So guys, in this section I will show you at the end of this tutorial what you will be able to do and what you will learn. So guys, this is the front page where you can see it will show you the list, and here you can add the record. For example, I'm going to add here. So let's say this is user this email and password. I'm going to select any one of the image. So here I selected add user. As you can see, successfully the user has been added. In the backend, I'm using PHP MySQL as REST API. So you can see the one which I just added, you can see here in the REST API JSON format. Now let's try to edit this. Select another image, this time this one, update user. You can see the record has been successfully updated, and if I try to delete this, then click delete, and you can see the record has been successfully deleted. So guys, in the backend you will be using PHP MySQL as a REST API, and in the front end I'll be using Angular. So guys, stay connected and let's start the real tutorial.
You that how you can create a REST API using PHP MySQL. So guys, step by step, I will show you that how you can create PHP 8 and MySQL REST API. So this is example. For example, if you want to display all the users, so it will display you the list of the users where you can see this is ID, first name, last name, email, and most important, in this REST API, I have also included image because it's important, because in real life when we will be working, it will be required to upload image also. That is why knowingly I have included image also. So you can see it is displaying 3 records here, and if you want to show any one of the records, just what you need to do, just pass ID like this, and then you, as it's saying that there is no record of ID1. So let's get back here. You can see because there is no any ID, that's why it is displaying like that. Now if we put here for example 2, and remember this is, if I put here 2, then you can see that it is displaying ID number 2. So that means what it is, we can fetch a single record. Now if you want to add the new record, then what is the option? Now let's get back to the post main. From here we will select here post method, and then this is the whole endpoint, and after this we are selecting their form data, the first name, last name, email, password, and image. So these are text field, and this one is image. If I write here, for example, let's write new name, say and rest of the things is okay, fine. Now if I try to uh, post here new user, then send, and you can see, oh, it says email already exists. So this is fine because email validation is also checking. Now the next will be just I am putting here something else, and now send, and then you can see a new record has been created successfully. If you want to verify, when you go back here, you can see here the new record which has been created last is this one. So you can see it is uh, getting created new records. Not only that, you can see image will also be uploading here. So this is our project file where you can see this is upload, and you can see the image that we selected, it is also displaying here. And now the next task is remaining is update. So to update the record, just we need to pass here ID. For example, this ID itself I want to update, so the ID number is 6. Now I will, yeah, the method will be post only. So in PHP actually the put method have problem in uploading image and all that. That's why I have put here post method only. And now let's change the name. Rather than Kinu, I will write here, and here also just we need to change something. Alright, let's select new image. I'll just delete this one. Select a new image here. say this one I'm selecting, and let's do one thing. Let's delete. Oh, this image is already selected, so I will select some other image. For example, let's select this image, this one. Okay. Now we will post a new update the new record. Send. Now you can see it says user updated successfully. If you want to verify, let's go here, and then you can see this name has been Nisa name has been changed successfully. Not only that, the image that we were seeing, this image is also uploaded. So guys, this way you can see a complete CRUD operation has been created using PHP and MySQL. So this is just introduction. Now I will step by step show you that how you can create this one. So stay connected. Now I will show you step by step that folder structure how you can create this. So this is the folder structure basically. So we will create the HT access, and for more redirect, and above you can see for using showing and db.php we will be creating here an index.php also, and after this is the upload folders where image will be uploaded, and once we will also create user folder. Inside that, create, update, delete, read and read single. Apart from that, we will also create update.php. so these are our folder structure, and this is the project. We will let's open here. Let's create actually a new folder here, and the name will be RESTful and then ng. So let's create this folder here. Now this is empty folder. Now let's do one thing. We'll have to create first this index.php. so let's create, but before that let's open here this one into our Visual Studio Code. So here we will create db.php, the first file. The next one will be htaccess.css. this will be for basically the more rewrite. Triple S double S will be htaccess. After this we will create index.php file. This will be acting as route, and next users folder, and then next let's see what is there. Yeah, create, delete, create.php, create.php, and then read.php. Okay, the name is wrong actually, double T, so let's give single T here.
So single.php. Now we need to delete actually this update. Let's delete this folder update.php. So let's create a file called update.php. Now next will be db.php, and here you can see this is database connection localhost. Port number is 3308. Basically this 3308 is the port number. You don't need to write actually here, you just need to write localhost, because in my case the port number I have put here 3308, that's why. Apart from that, what you need to do, we will just write here username and password. In my case username is admin, password is this, but in your case the password can be different, so you will use your user and password. And these are database connection localhost, first name, last name, email. And after this, if connection is successful, then fine, or else it will show database. And this one is for UTF character. That means what? it will support universal character. So for that purpose, this is the one. So this db.php is done now. Now next here, yeah, the next thing is we'll have to create the database. So let's keep the database name here, PHP Angular, and then let's create here one database. Let's go to databases, and then create here one database name. The database is already created, so the table, the user. Let's create one more field, 5 fields, then create, and then first name, 100 characters, last name 100 characters also, email, T, password, 100, image, 200. Basically the image name will be larger, that's why let's put it 2555. Now insert, let's insert here one dummy data so that we can do some testing. Just share the rate gmail.com. Let's put here password and then image name, anything. Let's put here any dummy data. So guys, that's it. The now our table is successfully created, and now we will work on this index.php.
Okay, so now the time is to create this index.php file. Inside this PHP file, actually, this will contain basically the routing. Okay, so what we need to do first, we need to provide here this course origin. So why do we need this course origin actually? Because we will be accessing this from other servers. Which, for example, the Angular will be on different server and the PHP will be in different server. It is another matter that we will be using this in local host only. That is why both our frontend and backend will be in same server. But in real life, the frontend and the backend is in different server. That is why we have to provide here permission, a kind of permission that okay, so what kind of files they can access. We have provided here star, that means any front-end application it can access, but this one is okay for local host, but in real life generally we write here domain name, so only that particular domain can access this. Next, this one is allowed headers, content type, and then methods will be get, post, and options. Apart from that, here content type will be application and JSON. Next one is this pre-flight request, means what happens normally. First, whenever any request is made, for example, if you are trying to add any data, then before adding, actually this options method is applied there. So what we are doing here, if there is option method, in that case it will add it, that means it will not be applicable. So that sometimes what happens, 2 times the data gets inserted here. That is to prevent that one. The next will be to check here the method, database connection. We have to include this DB connection. Alright, so here what we are going to do, you can see what we are doing. Basically, we can what we are doing here. This is connection, database connection. It's very simple to understand. We are just doing this connection, and next request method. What kind of method is post, get, delete? Okay, And this one is to trim this forward slash. If you, for example, if you try to access like this, then this forward slash is trimmed. Okay, so that is for that purpose. Now, if you want to check this by just putting here echo, then let's see. This one is method. If you want to check that what method is actually being applied here, so if you see, then it says that okay, get, because we are giving here the get method. Now next will be to check this URL. That what kind of URL it is basically coming. So here, if we check, then it doesn't show anything. We have not here. Okay. So it doesn't show anything because it has removed actually this one. That is why. And this is what we need actually. In the home page, when we give this forward slash, it will be skipped. Means it will be removed because it is not required. The next will be we will use here switch case. Just let's first remove this switch case. So what we are doing basically here, curly braces will close this one, and the switch case curly braces, that's it. So it says that if we write users and method is failed, then in that case this read method means this read file will be showing here in case number what, if the case is users in that case. So how do we know that? Let's go to here in the browser and just type here users. So basically this index.php will be not here. Just let's remove this, and then we can write here users. Okay. And before we proceed ahead to work HT access mode rewrite, we have to write here the code inside our HT. Basically what it does, it will do mode rewrite. Mode rewrite in the sense, let's see. Now if you try to access this like this, then you can see it is working now. It was showing not found earlier. Earlier it was showing not found, but now you can see it is working. So, but why it is not showing anything? Because let me show you. Inside read there is nothing. Simply write the PHP code and then echo for testing purpose. Just I'm doing read. And then this. Now, if I put here users, so let's see whether it's including or not. So inside the index of PHP, you will check whether it's going inside or not. So users, actually we have made a mistake here. It is older than the user, so let's keep user only rather than user. Just as rename it to user, right? So inside user, it will find read method and then try to check that. So now let's iterate. So still getting here everything. Let's check why. Okay, so for checking purpose that, let's check here the URL. Okay, what URL it is displaying it. Now, okay, yeah, the URL it is saying users, right? Here it is users. So if it is users, then URL equal to users and method equal to get, then actually this part should work. Let me check here by just writing here something so that we can see whether it's going inside or not. For the time being, let's close it. Let's check here. Here you can see it is going inside, no? Here, but we are not. You can hear everything. Okay, users is displaying in the top. Now, if we remove this, then we will check whether this URL is actually users or not. Okay, so doing so anything, that means what? It is not going inside this. Okay, basically we are making one mistake. What is that? Let me show you. It's not required. Let's remove this. The mistake is here. You can see we have here users. There is double R. Na? That is why. Let's remove one. And then you can see it is displaying read, which is inside here. Here. Now it is calling successfully. Similarly, we will do for other also the switch case. Let's put here for all, for example, we will say there are different cases here. Which one? Next one is post method, means when we will be posting some data in that case. Then create will come. The method will be post and URL will be users. Next is single user. For getting single user, it will load single data. This one is for get method, and for this is single reading, and this one is for updating. The method will be post and it will be user, and that means what? Forward slash can be any ID, whether 1, 2, 3, 4, it can be anything. Next one will be this delete. Similarly, the ID will be there, but the method will be get. So you can see it is distinguished between get is for reading all data. This post is for reading single for posting, which we will create. This one for reading single data, and this one for updating the data, and this one for deleting. If there is any mistake, then it will show the default. So this is how the whole routing our will work. Next, the next task is here to work on read. First, let's see this reading. Work on read. First, we need to include here this db.php, which is a database. Then next, now let me explain you line by line what it is. This one you can understand easily. This for including database, and this one is very simple. If you know basic PHP, then you might be understanding very well. Select star from field this where order by ID descending. This one is the result, and finally we are taking a blank array here. Next, result numbers. Then while loop we are running here, and then finally inside the users what we have created, all the records we are putting, and finally we are doing JSON encode. If there is any error or if no data is found, then it will show blank array. So guys, as you can see, it's very simple. That it is nothing but simple PHP. I expect that you already know PHP. In this one, actually, the idea is how to create REST API. So basically, what we are doing, we are creating here the blank array. All the data is going here in this array, and finally we are converting the array into JSON encode, so it will be converted into JSON object. Now to check this, let's go here and refresh. You can see the data is coming successfully, just like this. It's very simple. Now where is it coming from? This one is coming from, you can see, because we have added a single record now, so this one is coming here. For this we don't need, so let's recap once again what is happening here. It is checking if it is users. If you check here, that means what? It is checking here users. If it is users and method is get, then in that case this file will be included, and then in this file we have written here that it will fetch all the records and show in JSON format. So guys, this is really done. Now the next one will be to read single file, because in this one if you check, we have written here this time since it is single, so that is why we have written that okay, it will be user, and before that it can be anything. So it may be confusing for you. So the idea here is actually regex has been applied here, regular expression. It says that okay, in the beginning it can be anything, and in the last it will be digit, means any number will be. So basically how this will be like this. So what is happening? What we are writing? Before this it will be any URL, and after this it will be any number. So that is why we are writing this number. So if you check any regex, you will find that this means the number will be concatenated. And now the method is created. So if you try to access now, then you will write. Now we need to write the code because it is coming here, but in single record we have not written anything. That is why it is not displaying anything. So now let's write the code. Now here the file will be, let me explain once again. This one is database connection. Here we are getting the URL, and from URL we are exploding the forward slash. After this we are taking the last segment. That means what? This one. The last segment is ID, no? So the idea is here to get the ID. If you print here, if you echo here, you will see the ID. Let's die. Let's write here that, and then if you try to print, you will see the ID. You can see the ID is displaying up. That is the same. So to fetch the ID, we are exploring. Next, if not numeric, if this is not numeric, means if mistakenly anyone types here like this, then it will show error, invalid endpoint. You can see that's what. So one, we should just put here, then it's shown here. Next, so this will show invalid user ID. Or if I put maybe a string here, say ABCD, like this, it will say invalid endpoint. Okay. Next, here select path from this where user ID is equal to user ID. Now SQL query making, and then if you checking if row is greater than one, if the row is found, then fetch associate, and finally inside this user we are creating here dot array, and we are once again JSON encoding, so it will show the single user. In the previous case, if you see in our read, we were running while loop. Why? Because more than one record was coming. In this case, it is only one record. That is why we are putting it. Now, if you go here and check, it will say same review because we have only one record. No? So guys, we have completed two sections. First section is this all records. This one is for uh, single record. No, this one has not. We have covered. This one has we have covered. We will go there. Now let's work on delete because delete is generally very easy. No? That's why. So now to just we have to go to here. Let's close it and let's go to delete file. That's the case. This is similar where you can see what we are doing. Database connection. Then this one is once again course for course auditing. We are providing this tool. Now in this one we are expecting the ID, but the method is different this time because in read single you can see you have two options. Either you can fetch the ID through this process, or you can fetch the ID through this process also. Here uh, the same regex method has been applied, that if you can find ID, the right side number, left side is, and the URL, if it will match, then the last URL it will get. And if no ID is found, then it will show the error here. Next, once again select start from this where limit equal to 1 because it will delete only one. Now result MySQL query here, and also what it will do basically in delete one, it will also delete the image. This one is for deleting the image because while uploading, while creating, we will upload the image. No? So similarly, the record will be deleted as well as here the image. So now this is the final deleting method. After deleting the image, it will delete the from record also. And finally, it will show you the record has been deleted successfully. To delete the record, we cannot paste from here. We'll have to go to post name. And now we just pass here delete. Rather than post, we will pass here delete, and then we have to pass the ID. What ID we have? Only one record we have. That's why we will pass here 1. So the complete URL will be, of course, in this case, our project will be different. That is why we need to pass here REST API. What is the project name? Our project name REST -ng or -ng or -ng and the user and then one. That's it. We don't need anything else. So see the how it is localhost project name actually folder name, and inside that there is another folder. Inside that this is UI user and finally ID. This one is not required. Okay, for deleting. Only the delete method is uploaded. That's it. Now if you say, then you can see it says the user deleted successfully. If you want to check if really it was deleted or not, if you refresh here, you can find there is no user ID found. That means what? All the records have been deleted. If you refresh here, the record you can see completely got deleted. The next task will be to insert, which is import. Now let's come to here, and to insert we will have to work on create. Now we will be creating the new post. So here is the full code. I will explain you line to line once again. Here, this one is already, you know that this is for database connection and these are for course origin, right? You already know this. I've already explained this one, and this one is also I've already explained. Now here what we are doing, we are checking if user has posted first name, last name, email and password. If these are any one of these are blank, then it will show all fields are required. And this is for validation purpose. The next one is we are storing into the variable with this real escape string. This one is for sanitizing, so that the malicious code will not be coming here. So first name, last name, email, password. We are getting all this and we are hashing this password, the default password. This one with this PHP normally what happens, the PHP provide the default hashing method, this password hash. Okay, so this will be hash the password, and then here what we are doing, we are checking if the email ID is already there or not. For example, one user, if you email ID has already registered, then it will show the error that okay, this email already exists. The next one is here for checking the email. Starting from here, what we are doing, we are checking if image file user has really uploaded. Here what we are doing, we are checking if image user has uploaded or not, and there is no any error. After this we are creating here writing the directory where the image will be uploaded. If you check here, then you can see there is image folder. One second. Yeah, we need to create here actually uploads folder. So we will folder uploads. Of this name we will have to create one folder called uploads. So let's create one folder here, uploads, so that image will be uploaded in that folder only. So this is the folder we are accessing here. Okay, and then what we are doing, we are taking the base name of the image. That means the image name we are fetching from here, along with we are concatenating the time here. Why? Because if same file name 2 or 3 files are uploaded, then it will overwrite if you don't write this name. And after this, the target file name, that means dir and file. Allowed files here. That means what kind of file will be allowed here? JPG, PNG, and GIF. Only three types of file will be allowed here. If there is, apart from this, if there is any extra, then it will be exited showing the error. Now the next is to cap the size. That means image size can be 2 into this, means around 2 MB file. Apart from that, if it exceeds above, then it will show the error. It says that beyond 2 MB it's not allowed to upload. Similarly, we have given another one. Now if everything is perfect, then image will be uploaded, and then it will show image upload file. Right. If not move upload file, means if there is any problem, in that case it will show error, or else image will be uploaded. That's it. Next, here we are inserting everything, image name including image name also. And now finally what we are doing, if the query is perfect, then it will create a JSON file and saying that okay, the user has been created successfully. If there is any mistake, error, then it will show failed to create user. So as you can see, It is not difficult. If you know basic PHP, then there is no difficulty in understanding this code. Now the time is to test this code. Let's go here. I've already filled here. Actually, I have been creating with the Django framework. Now with Flask, with Spring Boot, with different backend. So that's why it's already filled here in my case. So you will have to go to here, and then the method will be post. Why? Because if you go to insert index file, then you will check this create this for read, not this create. You will see the method is post. And then now let's come back here. First name, last name, email, password, and image. So and then all the fields, text, and then this will be image. Now let's delete this and select any new image so that we can understand that okay, new image has been uploaded. That's fine. Next, send. No, not send. It will be users. The endpoint is users, not user one. So this is our endpoint. Now send, and then it should say that user has been created successfully. Right? You can see it says that user created successfully. That means what? When user has been created, if you want to verify, go here and then check the database. In the browser, click browse. You can see Anisha and this has been created. We will check whether inside the folder whether image is uploaded or not. You can see the image has been also successfully uploaded. So far we have done what? Read, then create, then read single, and then delete. So only thing remaining is update user. That means this part. So this part actually will be combination of single user and the create user. So now let's write the code and I will explain you one to one. So once again, let me explain you. This is database connection, course origin, application, request method. It will check whether the method is update or not, and post or not, and then content type is JSON or not. So it will be checking properly if. And one more thing here, it is multi-part form data because image will be also uploaded now. So that's why it will check whether this one is there and post is also there. If there is problem, then it will say unsupported request type. Next, id null, extract id from URL like this. Okay, so initial id will be null. Then once again we are extracting the id from here from the URL, and finally we are storing here as an integer. If a user passes any other id or any like any other character, then it will show error. Now the data post means whatever user has posted, it will store into data, and then image name initially will be null. Now it is checking whether the image has been uploaded or not. If it is, then it will go inside, and then this is the target directory. That means the directory name. Once again we are fetching the name of the image, and finally this is image name with directory. Here it will check if everything is fine, then it will be uploaded, or else it will show error. If image is uploaded, then first name, last name, email, password, all things will be taken from here. And finally, what it will do, it checks also that if password is empty, means if user did not update the password, then it will take the old password, or else it's fine. So if any one of these is not there, then it will say that these fields are required, but password will be not required. If user does not update, then in that case what will happen, it will take the uh, previous password. You can see here it is showing. Next fields will be first name, last name, email, and then password, and then image, and all will be imploded, and finally it will be updated here. It will check if all is fine, then it will say user has been updated successfully, or else it will display the error. Now the time is once again to update it. Now let's come back here, and then for updating we need to pass the id. The id is 2, so let's pass here id 2, and then this time we will change the name. Okay, and here let's keep it. Now send. We will update it. Oh, it is posted actually. And then why? Because we have to, it's posted. So fine. And ID we have already passed here. So it says that user updated successfully. If you want to verify, go here and then check. It is Nisa Reeves. Now it should be Rida. So guys, you can see the data has been successfully updated as well. So guys, this way you can do insert, update and delete complete CRUD operation using PHP and MySQL. In the next video, I will show you that how you can use this in front-end application like Angular.
Here one a project, say ng new ng flask. So I'm giving the name something like this. Now let's create the project. Do you want to create journless? No, for the time being we are not going to create journless. CSS, SSR currently we are not going to use. In the meantime, we will open this project into VS Code. So this is our previous project. What I'll do, I'll add here in the workspace. Add to workspace. This is our newly created project. Alright, so we will be, whatever we will be doing, we will do here. src, then app. After this, what we will do, let's create two folders. One folder we will create, that is called models. We will create here models, and then another one services. The model file will create, we will be just defining the rule like all the fields name. In the services, this will act as a bridge from API. Means first we will fetch the data from API and we will keep inside service, and all the components will fetch or send the data via this service. So that is the idea. After this, we will create a few components also. So let's start creating the component, and let me close this one. It's not required for the time being because we are going to create our own. So cd, now this cd ng flask, all right, and npm start or ng-sar, whatever you write, this will be the same thing. Now our project will start. Let's close all the previous one. Okay, we are going to work in this one, so that I will show you the step that how I have done all these things. So this is model and this is service. Okay, and we will be creating few folders. Folders means component, like add component, update component, and list component. So let's create here, but before that let's see if it's installed or not. It's our previous one and this is the new one. Now you can see it's successfully installed. Now we will step by step start creating. So the first thing what we will do, let's take cdn file here because we will be using bootstrap. Okay,
just copy it and go to our index.html, which is here, and inside the head we will put here. Since it's localhost, so this integrity cause problem, so we can skip this, delete this integrity. Similarly, so this is our folder structure. You can see this is model, then this is services, and create for creation, and this one is for showing list, and this one is for updating. So similarly we will be creating like this. This is a project structure. So inside model, let's copy and paste this. Let's create here inside model. Okay, we will fill the data later here. Yeah, you can see what actually we have. If you check here, we have email, first name, last name, email, and last name. So according to that, we will have to fill the data here. So inside our model, this will be the field. ID is optional. Why? Because while creating means while inserting the data, you won't have ID initially, na? That's why. At the time of editing, ID will come, that is fine. But at the time of insert, we won't have ID. So that's why we have kept here this optional. But rest of the things are first name, last name, email, password, and image. All are defined here inside the model, and our model name is user. That's it. Its work is finished now. The next task will be to create here our services. This is finished. Now service. So if you go here and check the next step, services, inside this we will be creating here user service. Inside service normally what we do, we write the functions, so that, and we call all the API. So we will do the same thing here. So inside the user service we will have basically these things. What we have? Alright, so under models, it's in our case the name is models. Injectable, that means what? This will be available in all other components. This injectable, that's why we have written here provided in root, means it will be available for all components. Now this is user service. Remember here we need to write @injectable. That means whenever you write @injectable, that means what? This is service class, not a normal class. Now next thing is we have to write our API URL. So our API URL is this. So how do we know? If you go here, you can check. This is your API URL. This one. So the same API based URL we're writing, and HTTP client, this one is required to send and receive the data from the server. And now we will be creating all the functions to fetch the data. This one is, this get users is for fetching all the records. This one is for inserting the data, and this one is to fetch single record, and this one is for updating, and finally this one is for deleting. So we have all the functions ready here. In this one you can see what we have. This observable, then see model name, a blank array, and then return what it will return. This to HTTP get and model, and API URL. Means from here it will fetch the data and return. This function will return actually the data. So that is the thing. Our service class is also done. Next one, we will create here components. Now let's go here and then Control C, we will break the server, and nggc means generate component. Now let's see the name of the folder. So first we will create this component from here. After this we will create another one. We will create actually 3 components. This one, user list to display the list, and next one will be for updating. Here this one is also created. Now for updating, user update. That's it. Yes, it's done now. So all the components now we have created, and we will start writing the code. Okay, now let's start the server again. Let's start the server here. So server is now started. Let's close it, and then the next task, let's close this one also. The next task that we need to do is let's start from user list, because first we will show the data here. So inside user list we will here implements ng on init. Okay, after this let's create here model. Means we are creating here an object of our model, that is users. This is a blank array. We will fill the data later. After this we will have to write constructor. Inside constructor, as a dependency injection, we will be calling service. So in our case the service file is this, and we have to call the router as well. Still it's showing error because we will have to write this function below. It says that we will have to implement it later, and then to display the list we will have to write this function. So basically now the error is gone, because ng on init, this one we are implementing. This is an interface actually. That's why we are writing here implement. So inside this interface, this is the function which we must inherit. Function body we have to write. Now get users, actually we are calling on load. It's like, you know, on body load, this one. And get users, we are calling here this service get users. This get users is inside service, and then subscribe, the data is coming here, and finally this one is for checking purpose whether the data is coming or not. After this we will have to write our HTML code to display the data. So let's go here, let's remove, and then we will put the code. So inside the user list, these are the fields which we require. What are these? It's very clear: first name, last name, email, and image. So this users of user, that what is this users? If you go here, this is our users, this one. So we are calling here in this HTML, and for of ng4 through ng4 we will be looping this id, first name, last name, email, or we are calling this one is for image, and this is our server path, and this one edit user and delete user. Definitely it will show error because these two functions we have not created yet, so we will have to create these two functions here as well. So let's write these two functions. What are these? Delete user, then id we are passing. So based on id we will pass the id here, and subscribe and this dot get users means after deleting once again load all the users, and edit users is the pass the data and it will redirect to edit page. So that's it. Now we will have to work on routing here, app.routes.ts file. And now let's write here all the path. So what we are doing, routes, then we are calling here users pool, and then user list that we have just created, let's call it, and then this one is user create component. Alright, so this is not available, it says, and we have to call user update, and then user, okay, the name can be different, and also let's import all the dependencies. Alright, so all the dependency has been imported. Why this one is not showing here? Because let me check inside user list, user create here. Okay, the name is user create, that's why. So we have to name it same, and now it can be easily called here. And then this app from app, this app file we are calling this app.ts. So guys, that's it. What we are doing, actually we are writing here all the route, the component are in this side, and this is corresponding URLs, and finally we are binding this to all the components. This means app component inside app component. Now let's go to app.ts file, not ts, actually index file, app dot here. What we will do, we will delete everything from here, and just we will have router link, that's it. This is our main app file. Now let's run and test the application, what it shows. It's showing here blank. So now why it's showing blank? Because we have to call two things. First we need to import, and this provider means user service, also the service we will have to call here, and these are dependencies which we need to be called. Router module, okay, actually router we need to call here, no? That's why. So now let's see what happens. So now guys, you can see successfully our data is coming just like I demonstrated you before. So here you can see all the names etc are coming. Let me show you that what happens. Actually we can remove this one, it says it's deprecated. Let's see if we remove this. Okay, we'll have to keep this, or else let's try to add one code here, HTTP client, this one, provided HTTP client. Okay, in app.config.ts. Now let's try. Yeah, so now it's done. Actually in previous version there was an option to call HTTP client module, but now in the newer version in Angular 20 we can write here in app.config at once, this one, this module, that's it. So no need to call anywhere this. So the main point is router module and services we need to call. And then what we are doing here, we are creating an object of this model, and through dependency injection we are passing here, we are calling this function here, this function, and this function is actually connecting to our service file. Let's close it. Okay, we are connecting, this function is actually written here in our service file. We are fetching the data from there and storing here, and finally this data is being sent to HTML file. Similarly delete and edit user we will do. Delete can be checked here at this point of time only. For example, Tony, if you delete, it got deleted successfully. So delete code is already working. The next task will be to work on add. For the time being, you can see it is showing user creates because our code is blank here. You can see user create. Currently this code is totally blank, that is why. So now let's work on adding the data. So we have to initialize here the form. So we will write here this form group. Okay, this form group, form builder we will have to call, because we are going to use here reactive form modules, that's why. Now let's import the dependency and this form builder also, and user service that we have already created, we have to call this one also, and finally the router. Remember, all these things are written inside here. And also this one is validator, means we can do some validation before inserting. So what we are doing actually, this user form, this dot, all these are these things we are writing inside constructor, and then here inside this we are creating user form instance where fb.group, then first name is required, last name required, this one is required, and validators.email means @ must be given, password will be required, image is not, means this one is not mandatory. Now next task will be to write the code for inserting. This one is for all selected file, means when we will select the file, then this code it will take from here and it will store the file name here. Okay, and this dot user form dot patch, this one is for updating this image. So in short you can say we will get image name from here. And finally we will write code for submitting. This is create user, means this is a function for submitting. It will get here in form instance whether it's valid or not. We are creating a blank form data, and finally all the fields, first name, last name, we are appending. After this we have to append image also, and then once everything is done, then create function which is inside service file. There all the data, this as a form data, as a block, as a group, it will send, and finally it will be redirected to the view file. After this we need to write here the create function, means we will have to write HTML code, and the HTML code is not very complex, it's straightforward. What we are doing here, we are creating object of this form group. This is instance of this form group, same user form. If you go to here inside this in our TS file user form, we created an instance of this form group as user form. Same thing we are doing here. You can see this form group we are creating an instance, and this is a function. ng submit is a function. After clicking, what will happen, this function will be called, and this function is written here. This create user will be called, that means it will be submitted. Now next here input type text, first name, and then form control name, because we are basically using here form builder and form group, that's why. So we will writing here, and not only that, in imports we will have to import here forms module, and then another one is this one, common module and router module. These two we need to import. Apart from that, we need to provide us here, and then what is our user service, no? This is our service name. So that's it. Now let's come back here. So this is form control, and then first name, last name, whatever we are putting here, all the fields here. And for image we have to write here input type file, and then our name is, and on change this on select file. So basically on change means this is a function, then this function will be called here. So now if you go here, then you can see we have already written here this function. So if you console this, okay, let's first run this, then we will talk about this later. Alright, now if you click on add user, then it's going blank. Why? Let's check in the console. In the console it is saying no provider for injection. We have written here forms module, common module, router module, user service is also there. Now we need to actually call this reactive forms module, because if you're using this forms groups and form builder, then this one needs to be imported. So now let's go here. Imports must be array of components directive ng module. Create user line number 8. Here router module is fine. Okay, this one is not required actually. So forms module, common module and reactive form module, these three are required. Okay, so now our form is ready, so we will write here okay. So now you can see successfully the data is being added. So basically what we have done, you have to import forms module, common module and reactive forms module, these three, and in provider, for provider you have to import this one. Okay, and then you have to pass all these things in constructor, forms module, user service and router, and here you will have to create the instance of forms group where we can put validation also, and this one is for selecting the image. When you select the image name is taken here. If the file name is fine, then what happens actually, inside the form it patch, means image name is attached there, and finally the value of image name is fetched from here. And now while sending the data, what we do, this is one group, means text file, and this is one group, image. So what we do, we attach both of these together, and finally we send to the service file and it goes to the backend. And now our last part, and that is edit is remaining, so let's do that one. Currently it's showing user update. Inside edit form, the HTML will be exactly same. So just we need to copy this, and inside our update HTML we will just put it. Only the function name can be different here. Create or update user, we can name it as update user, that's it. Rest of the things will be same. The changes will be inside our, let's close it, the changes will be inside our TS file, that means here. So whatever we have done inside our create user.ts, like service, and these will be also imported in our user update also. And this forms module also.
let's install all dependencies. Okay, the imports is already there, that's why. Let's delete it. Now we will write the code same way, the way we had written the code in the insert file. So here you will see few things. Once again, this forms groups we need to import form group, and this ID, user ID, at the time of editing you need ID, that's why we are passing here user ID. Then forms builder, once again you will have to call, and this one is used to fetch the URL ID, this activated route, this one. And this validator and all these things are same. You can see first name, last name, email, it will be required email, and password, all that, just like insert file. The main thing will be here, we will create a function called update user. But before that you need to load the data, because before editing user will see that what already data is. So what we are doing, we are fetching the ID from URL. This ID we will be fetching this. To fetch this ID we need this. So we are storing here user ID. Now it is saying if user ID is there, then it will fetch single user from service file and it will patch to the form. Means automatically it will check the form name and the data will attach with that. You don't have to write like in HTML PHP. Normally we write dot value, so something like this. And once again, now the next thing usually update. Now this one will be for select file, means image upload, just like we had done in means insert and update will be almost same. Only thing in update this will be different to fetching the data. And now finally the update, this one is for update user, that's it. If you compare with insert and update, it is exactly same, all the things are same. The only difference is this one, because what we'll have to do now, you see the data is fetched here now. First you will have to fill the data, and after that user will submit and it will get updated. Actually it will be not add new user, update user, it will be the heading. Okay, so that is HTML, no problem. So you are seeing here, this is add new user, basically this is update. So let's try to update. Let's upload a new image here this time. So I'm taking this ID, the haircut. Okay, the data is successfully updated. So guys, you have seen how we have we can add here, we can edit here, and we can delete the data. So all the things is completed. In the backend we have used Flask, REST API, and in the front end Angular. Let's recap it what we have done. We have first created model from here, then service file, all the service functions we have written here, get users, create users, get by ID, then update and delete, and then according to that the API is hitting to the server endpoint, and according to that data is being fetched and same is being called here. This one is for creating the form group, and finally this one is for loading the form
and this one is for selecting the file, selecting image and attaching both text and image. We are sending the whole data to the server, and it is going to the server and uploading the image as well. So you can see now there is one thing remaining. In our previous example you had seen there was header here, na? So you can put header also, bootstrap header. So we will write here bootstrap navbar. You can find here different navbar here. This is one of the navbar, second one is this one. So let's take any one of these. Now you will have to put this navbar into app.html before this, so that it will be available in all the pages. Now you go and you can check this is the menu. Inside this menu you can add here, like this add list, and also you can, so better let's do put it inside a div, and here inside this write here container class container fluid, and in this one will be class container. That's it, guys. You can see oh, class 2 class, actually already there is class, no? That's we can attach this class here. Let's remove this. So now it's fine. So this way guys you can do complete insert, update and delete